Night security guard Ethan Carter walked into the abandoned Blackwood station for his first shift and never walked out. But he did leave a piece of physical evidence behind in the dark. The city officially closed the underground station a decade ago. The public municipal report pointed to mundane infrastructure failures, specifically citing severe electrical fires and a localized structural collapse. The real reason for the closure is buried much deeper. Before the gates were padlocked, Blackwood suffered a long, unexplained string of sudden fatalities on its lower platforms. Victims weren't crushed by falling debris or burned in fires. First responders found their bodies intact, with one grotesque detail. Every single victim's face was frozen into an impossible, unnaturally wide smile. But the internet told a darker story, with people claiming they still heard train sounds late at night, even though the tracks had been removed years ago. Ethan's instructions for the night shift were straightforward: stay at the desk until sunrise, monitor the CCTV feeds, and report anyone trying to trespass. He was entirely isolated. The city had ripped out the physical train tracks years earlier, cut the power grid to the lower levels, and removed all maintenance crews. His job sounded easy: stay until sunrise, watch the cameras, report trespassers. That was it. At least, that's what he believed. Ethan locked himself inside a self-sustaining battery of trapped, escalating energy the moment he descended to Platform 2. At 1:13 a.m., the dead silence broke. The station's permanently deactivated public address system suddenly crackled with static, announcing an arriving train on Platform 2. Then came the heavy, methodical rhythm of footsteps echoing out from the pitch-black, trackless tunnel. Ethan aimed his flashlight into the dark and found the source. A tall man in a tailored dark suit was standing perfectly motionless at the far end of the corridor. The entity's face was dominated by a perfectly stretched, terrifyingly wide smile. Without a single muscle moving on its face, it projected a whisper directly into Ethan's ears, telling him he was late. This physical manifestation confirmed Ethan's situation had shifted. He was no longer listening to the echoes of the past. He was sharing the platform with an active, conscious presence. Panicking, Ethan sprinted back to the security office. He immediately checked the camera monitors, desperately looking for visual confirmation that the tunnel was actually empty. He didn't see the man in the suit. Instead, Camera 6 displayed Ethan himself, standing entirely alone on the platform, staring straight back into the lens with a massive, unblinking smile. Ethan slowly turned toward the office window. The real platform outside was completely empty. Ethan's mind fractured the exact moment he realized the horror on the monitor was his own hijacked identity. The concrete walls of the security room began to vibrate. A blinding white light violently erupted from the darkness, accompanied by deafening, screeching machinery. A rusted, decaying subway train emerged from the tunnel, gliding smoothly over the bare concrete floor where the tracks used to sit. Inside the carriages sat dozens of pale passengers. They possessed completely black eyes and the same impossibly wide smiles. In perfect synchronization, they all turned their heads toward Ethan, commanding him to come home. Ethan was looking at a collective, smiling hive mind, an endless loop of passengers trapped forever aboard a train that never stops hunting for new additions. The police breached the station gates at sunrise. They found the entire platform completely empty. There was no train, no remaining passengers, and absolutely no physical trace of the night guard. All the investigators had left to examine was the final recovered frame from the security server. It showed Ethan standing completely still, smiling widely, as the blurred edge of a rusted train carriage faded into the darkness behind him. Before the audio feed cut to static, the microphone picked up a final whisper from Ethan, stating there was room for one more. Blackwood Station remains perfectly intact, waiting quietly in the dark for the city to hire another guard.